Majesty meets with Amman Mayor and the municipality's executive team, urging continued efforts towards upgrading services to citizens using a comprehensive futuristic vision. Yemen's government and Houthi rebels are planning to implement the UN-backed cessation of hostilities as of midnight tonight before peace negotiations begin in Kuwait on the 18th. A fire and explosions during a fireworks display to mark the Hindu New Year kills 100 people and injures more than 300 at a temple in India's southern Kerala state. Good evening and welcome to a new edition of the news. His Majesty King Abdullah, during a visit to Amman municipality, urged municipal officials to step up efforts towards upgrading services to citizens in the capital city through futuristic plans that fulfill developmental needs. His Majesty met with Amman Mayor Khal Baltaji and the municipality's executive team, urging a comprehensive outlook when executing projects in Amman, especially such projects that touches people's life. King Abdullah said the capital's population growth poses numerous challenges, not least of which is the traffic jam, further intensified in the summer season with the flow of expatriates and tourists. His Majesty renewed calls on the relevant officials to facilitate investment procedures and to put in place clear and direct instructions to investors. Green spaces in the city, His Majesty noted, should also take due consideration by the municipality, urging high-level services in public parks as outlets to citizens and guests. Baltaji presented His Majesty with an overview of current and future projects, namely in the public transport sector, pointing that work is underway to begin partial operation of the bus rapid transit by 2018. The newly appointed Chief Commissioner and members of the Independent Election Commission were sworn in before His Majesty in a ceremony at the Royal Court. Chief Khaleed and members Nazih Amamri, Samar Haj Hassan, Zuhair Abu Faris and Naif Khalif Ibrahim were all in attendance. Later, Khalal chaired a meeting to discuss ways of overcoming the big challenges of enhancing the confidence of the Jordanian public in the election process and capitalize on past achievements. The meeting also reviewed the IEC's capacity building program and its strategic plans in partnership with various stakeholders.
وأن أؤدي الواجبات الموكولة إلي بكل أمانة ونزاهة وحياد.
يتشرف سعادة الدكتور نزيه عمارين بأداء القسم عضواً.
أقسم بالله العظيم أن أكون مخلصاً للملك والوطن.
His Majesty King Abdullah has issued a royal benefaction, Makmura, to provide for the restoration of Jesus' tomb in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem at His Majesty's personal expense. The Royal Hashemite Court informed the Jerusalem Patriarch of His Majesty's Makruma in a letter sent to His Beatitude Kyrios Theophilus III, Patriarch of the Holy City of Jerusalem and all Palestine and Jordan. His Beatitude Patriarch Theophilus III commended the generosity of His Majesty King Abdullah, saying that His Majesty has always been and shall remain the faithful guardian and custodian of the Christian and Muslim holy sites in Jerusalem. The Patriarch also said that His Majesty embodies in deed and not only in words the shared living of Muslims and Christians all over the world and particularly in the Holy Land. His Beatitude emphasized that the Royal Hashemite family has always had a unique historic role in the preservation of both Christians and Muslim holy sites in Jerusalem and the occupied territories. King Abdullah spearheads the efforts of all Jordanians to sow the seeds of love and brotherhood between Muslims and Christians, the Patriarch said. Malta's Prime Minister Joseph Muscat arrives in Amman tomorrow morning to meet with His Majesty the King. The Maltese Prime Minister will also hold talks with Prime Minister Abdullah Mansour on furthering economic ties and trade relations with Jordan. Mansour and Muscat will lead officials from both sides at a meeting of the Jordanian Maltese Business Council organized by the Jordan Chamber of Commerce. The council meeting aims to review means to increasing trade and investment ties between Jordan and Malta. More Syrian refugees continue to pour into Jordanian borders. Over the past few days, a total of 909 new arrivals were ushered into Jordanian territory by border guards who provided them with emergency aid before they were escorted to their shelters. The Jordanian Royal Medical Services personnel also offered first aid to the sick or wounded through the Border Medical Center. As the war against Daesh continues, the U.S.-led coalition launched 24 strikes against the group in Iraq and one in Syria yesterday, according to a statement by the Combined Joint Task Force released today. The strike near Raqqa in Syria destroyed 2 Daesh oil pump jacks, while in Iraq, the airstrikes focused on the terrorist group's fighting positions near 9 cities, including Mosul, where 8 strikes hit 3 tactical units and 5 communication facilities, among other targets. A new ceasefire is to enter into effect in Yemen at midnight tonight, with the United Nations hoping it can be the cornerstone of a long-lasting peace deal. The warring parties agreed to the UN-backed cessation of hostilities 9 months, and UN-sponsored peace talks are scheduled to begin in Kuwait on the 18th of this month. Residents are divided about the prospects of the ceasefire and the peace talks, with Yemenis in the capital expressing either cautious optimism or outright skepticism. 1 year of civil war between Yemeni government forces and the Houthi militia has cost more than 6,200 lives. Saudi King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud concluded his visit to Cairo with an address to Egypt's parliament. King Salman and Speaker of Egypt's lower house of parliament, Ali Abdel Al, both stressed on the importance of uniting in the face of extremism in the region. The Saudi monarch told parliament that Saudi Arabia and Egypt are working towards the creation of a joint Arab force to fight terrorism, while Abdel Al said the two countries' cooperation is the only way to spread up the end of terrorism. Egypt and Saudi Arabia signed during King Salman's visit a number of developmental and economic deals, in addition to announcing a plan to build a bridge connecting the two countries over the Red Sea. Greece condemned a dangerous and deplorable use of tear gas by the Macedonian police against crowds of migrants gathered on the Greek side of the border at Idomeni. Thousands are waiting at the outpost for shuttered borders to reopen, and earlier attempts by a large group to cross the border fence ended in skirmishes with police. Some migrants were wounded. More than 10,000 migrants and refugees have been stranded at Idomeni since February, after a cascade of border shutdowns throughout the Balkans closed off their routes to Central and Western Europe. Foreign ministers of the Group of 7 industrialized nations met in the central Japanese city of Hiroshima for a first session of meetings to discuss international issues as well as the Middle East crisis. The meeting is the first of the meetings of ministers from the 7 industrial nations group that will culminate on May 25th and 26th with the Leaders' Summit in Ise, central Japan. Japanese Foreign Minister Fumio Kishida is presiding over the G7 annual meeting, focusing this year on nuclear weapons, anti-terrorism steps, maritime security, and issues related to North Korea, Ukraine, and the Middle East.
In this meeting, we hope to debate properly the meaning immediate issues the international community faces these days, such as terrorism, the refugee issue, safety on the open seas, the non-proliferation and disarmament initiative, the Middle East, the problems in Ukraine and North Korea.
Not too far from the meeting venue, a group of protesters gathered to demonstrate against the G7 meetings, walking past Hiroshima's landmark site, the atomic bomb dome. The ministers are due to visit tomorrow an atomic bomb museum in Hiroshima, a city obliterated by a U.S. atomic bomb more than 70 years ago, and lay flowers at a cenotaph for nuclear bomb victims. Britain's Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, Prince William and Kate, played a charity cricket match with unprivileged children in Mumbai, the first day of a week-long tour of India that will include a trip to the Kingdom of Bhutan. They took an open-top bus tour and played the cricket match with a team from a local cricket academy and kids backed by local charities. Kate faced a few deliveries from Indian cricket legend Sachin Tendulkar. She struck one ball only to be caught out, leading to a lively exchange between William and the fielders. Their tour ends in India next Saturday at the Taj Mahal, revisiting the scene of a solo and much photographed visit in 1992 by William's mother, the late Princess Diana, to the Monument to Love. What was supposed to be a night of celebration turned into a tragedy in India. A huge fire swept through a temple in the southern state of Kerala, killing nearly 100 people and injuring over 300 who had gathered for a fireworks display to mark the start of the local Hindu New Year. The blaze started when a cracker fell into a shed where the fireworks were stored, sparking a string of powerful explosions that blew the roof off the administrative block of the temple and caused another building to collapse. The state's chief minister said temple authorities were denied permission to carry out the fireworks display, adding that the government will investigate how they went ahead. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi flew to the temple site with a team of doctors to help state authorities cope with the large number of injured. The Putingal Devi temple is one of the oldest in the state, built on the site of an ant hill where locals believe a goddess appeared centuries ago. In the race to the White House, the site of the next major primary for both Republican and Democrats is New York. The April 19th primary is a delegate-rich hunting ground for the presidential hopefuls. Democratic candidates Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are both in New York fighting for the 291 available Democratic delegates, while Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, and John Kasich jockey for the 95 available Republican delegates. Sanders' campaign picked up momentum as he extended a string of victories yesterday by winning the nominating contest in Wyoming. However, polls have given Clinton a narrowing advantage as a new Emerson College Polling Society survey finds Sanders trailing Clinton by 18 points. Sanders and Clinton will face off this Thursday in a debate in Brooklyn hosted by CNN. And on the Republican front, and despite critical losses in the recent Wisconsin primary, Donald Trump continues to hold a double-digit lead in New York, according to the most recent polling data. An exhibition showcasing more than 1,000 vintage toys produced by German company Playmobil has opened in La Paz, Bolivia. Running until the end of the month, the exhibition is organized by the Playmobil Collection Club with toys belonging to 6 of its members. The star of the display is an indigenous chola, or as they are affectionately known, cholitas, built entirely by collector Enrique Montoya. Montoya decided to create the doll last year with vintage 1974 parts, adapting it from another Playmobil toys. The Cholita doll is dressed with a typical high bowler hat and puffed skirt. Other Playmobil dolls include those standing in pirate ships, forts, dressed in cowboy costumes, and riding horses. Through Playmobil, figures may stand at 6 centimeters tall. Their cultural impact has loomed large. Playmobil celebrated its 40th anniversary this year. The uniforms that will be used by the Brazilian Olympic team when they complete their first Olympics on home turf this summer were unveiled in Rio de Janeiro. The uniforms were designed by Nike and features fluorescent greens and yellow and blue details. Basketball player Clarissa dos Santos said the new design will allow for more mobility as the uniform is very light. The 2016 Summer Olympics kick off in Rio on August 5th. FIFA officials inspected work at the Fish Stadium in Sochi in another stage of Russia's hosting of the Soccer World Cup in 2018. The stadium, which hosted the opening and closing ceremonies of the 2014 Winter Olympics, will stage 6 World Cup matches, including one of the quarterfinals. It will also host 4 matches of the Confederation Cup in 2017. The World Cup 2018 game will be held between June 14 and July 15 at 12 stadiums. Inspectors will continue from Sochi to visit stadiums under development for the tournament in other Russian cities. And finally, windy and dusty conditions continue for the rest of tonight, with a chance for more scattered showers accompanied by westerly moderate to brisk winds. Tomorrow, the kingdom will be affected by a relatively cold and wet air mass that will cause a drop in temperature as well as rain to the northern and central regions. Winds will be northwesterly moderate to brisk, raising dust in the Baguio region. The Gulf of Aqaba should expect relatively hot conditions tomorrow with possible light winds, while winds will be northerly moderate to brisk and seas slightly high. Next are the lows and highs for tonight and tomorrow. And to end the news, here's a recap of our top stories. His Majesty meets with Amman Mayor and the municipality's executive team, urging continued effort toward upgrading services to citizens using a comprehensive futuristic vision. Yemen's government and Houthi rebels are planning to implement a UN-backed cessation of hostilities as of midnight tonight before peace negotiations begin in Kuwait on the 18th. A fire and explosions during a fireworks display to mark the Indian New Year kills 100 people and injures more than 300 at a temple in India's southern Kerala state. And with this we come to an end. I'm Farah Ajuni. Thank you for watching and have a good night.